What's up, guys? Chris the Chef Sports Cards here. We're doing 2021 Topps Heritage Minor League third case break number 4. How is everyone this evening? Welcome, especially if you're new to the channel, welcome. A little bit about us. We've been around for over 3 years now. We break mostly baseball with a little bit of everything else mixed in. We ship all cards from every break. We're very generous with the top loading, and we ship as quickly as we can, usually within a day or two of the break. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We do a free break every 1,000 subscribers we turn. It's a big break, a couple $1,000 worth of boxes. You want a chance to get into it, all you got to do is subscribe to the YouTube channel, and maybe you'll get into our next free break. All right, let's go over the teams. Braves, Mark G. Orioles, Matthew T. Red Sox, Sean B. White Sox, Matthew T. Reds, Rich L. Tigers, David T. And Royals, David T. Astros, Tony W. Dodgers, David T. Brewers, Rich L. Marlins and Mets, Rich L. Rich has got a lot in this one. Yankees, Michael O. A's and Phillies, Rich L. Pirates, Jeremy J. Cardinals, Tim W. Padres, David T. Giants, Rich L. Mariners, Jeremy J. Rays, Jason S. And Rangers, Blue Jays, Nationals, Rich L. There we go. Last 4 boxes of Heritage hanging out on the shelf. Figure we should get rid of them while we can. So hopefully we'll find something good that's been marinating in here. We haven't pulled any one-on-ones out of Heritage Minor League this year. We've been on a bit of a one-on-one kick lately. We've had like 5 in the last month. So, what's up, Savage? We've had like 5 one-on-ones in the last month. So maybe we can pull one tonight. Hopefully we do that museum on Saturday. We'll pull some more from there too. All right, Paxton, Vargas, and Hassel. Let's get to it. Rich, what's up, buddy? You got a bunch of teams in this one tonight, huh? Hey, man, get them while the getting's good. For the Rangers, Justin Foscue. Black, numbered 44 of 50. For Tejas, which is my man Rich. 90 Fleer, yeah. What do I have? I have something sitting there. What do I have? Oh, no. Actually, I got rid of all that. I have some 93 Power Play Hockey. And I have some 93 Game Day Football on the shelf that I've had for a long time. I did have a bunch of baseball, but I gave it all away the past few months, like just giving packs away and stuff. I'm like, why am I leaving all this crap sitting here? I'll just get rid of it. Kerstedt. Maybe, I think, Chris, didn't you say you found a Griffey in one of them or something, like the 92 or something like that? No fun anymore. You can't go out to too many garage sales and find stuff these days. Everybody thinks they're going to cash in and get rich, so they're holding their stuff back now. I used to love it 5 years ago, 10 years ago, when you go to a garage sale and buy like 10 boxes of cards for like $50. Wander Franco stamp. $90 Bowman. Sometimes you got to do it, man. If you knew how many baseball cards I've thrown away. I do it sometimes, man. I go through old stuff like, oh my God. Someone must be breaking in, man. My dog went nuts. My dog is like the biggest wimp in the world. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can calm him down. Of course, it's right outside my door. So. Charlie, calm down. That's enough. Go ahead. Go see what's down there if you want to see. Of course, as soon as I open the door, it'll start barking. Close the door. My big dog, he's a golden. He's like one of the most gorgeous dogs I've ever laid your eyes on. He weighs about 110 pounds, and he is afraid of his own shadow. Anything, any noise, anything, man. He's just like, I've seen him scare himself out of a dead sleep, like, and do it to himself, like, for no reason. Like, it's actually really funny. It'll be like 1 in the morning, and I'll be sorting cards or whatever, and he'll be dead asleep, and out of nowhere, just like jump, like, huh? Like, what's wrong? What we got here? Just the that was backwards. It got me excited for a second. And he'll just jump out of nowhere, like, and be like, "Why are you so jumpy?" And it got to the point the last time my wife took him to the vet, she talked to him about maybe putting him on medication. He's so bad. So they had her do Nick Gonzalez. What is it? The natural. What is that stuff? Can't think of, like, the herbal remedy. Oh gosh, what is the name of that? Like St. John's wort or some, something like that. I forget what, like the holistic form of like a sedative, basically. It doesn't help him at all. We tried putting it in his food for like 3 months. I think it made him worse. Traded. And for the Bravos, that's a good one there, Bryce Ball. Big name there, Bryce Ball. Atlanta. Mark, there you go, buddy. That'll pay for your spot. Bryce Ball, not numbered. What is, it's funny you say that. What are the big sticking points on the lockout? It's funny, last night I was about to, like, literally, like, ready to sit down and click on an article and read all about it. And I was like half asleep and I never got to it. And it's funny, I didn't even think about it till you just said that. Like, I heard people saying that one of the big things, like, they want, I don't know, more teams in the playoffs or whatever. But that can't be, like, what is the big sticking point here? I mean, obviously, I'm sure it's money somehow, but if I'm not mistaken, didn't Scherzer just get like $45 million a year from the Mets? Like, which is insane. Freaking Mets are pissing me off. Oh, where'd that come from? For the Dodgers, a real one autograph of a Choi for the Doyers, for David. Earlier free agency and what? Service time manipulate. Well, yeah, that one, Mark, I get. That I knew about. I don't know. I mean, what do the experts say? I mean, is this going to be legit, or is it going to be something that's actually going to affect this year, or is it just going to be something we do in the off season to make a point? I mean, for those of you who the last time they had the strike in what, the 90s, right? And they really hurt the game a lot. And I tell you what, they got lucky. The home run thing is what kind of brought baseball back, was the Sosa McGuire thing. Because that strike, that walkout they had, that one was brutal. I can't imagine that anybody is dumb enough to give up that kind of money these days. But who knows? Maybe. Players want too much and owners don't want to right the wrongs. Huh. Yeah, I'm going to sit down and read about it later. I said last night I was posting some singles and I was like half asleep trying to get it done, and then I saw a thing come up on MLB about the walkout, and I was like, you know what, I need to read this and know exactly what's going on. And then, I woke up like with my head on the desk like 25 minutes later while I was in the middle of posting something. I was like, I gotta go to bed. Giants. The money's so crazy these days. I mean, and now all these teams too keep handing out these mega contracts to guys who are young because they're saving them a ton of money in the long run. Asa Lacy in action. Number 299, 68 of 99. Players don't want teams to have compensation when they sign elsewhere. Yeah. I know a big one was the thing with the rookie, the how they were bringing guys up and controlling their contracts for another year and everything. I mean, but they've been doing that for a long time. Where it's like they don't put the guy in the opening day roster. They bring him up like 3 weeks after opening day, and then they get a whole nother year before arbitration on the rookie contract or whatever, and which is crap, But again, it's hard to have a ton of sympathy for guys who make 25, 30, 35, $40 million a year. Even guys who aren't the best players, the middle of the road guys are making 12, 13 million a year, like it's hard to imagine there's a lot they have to complain about, but it's like anyone else, it's, you get paid what you're worth, I suppose. Salary floor, universal DH, expand the playoffs, Scherzer $4 million plus. It's $15 million. He still gets from the Nats for 3 years. It's crazy, man. Now, the Mets are spending money like the sky's falling. It's crazy the amount of money they've spent in the last few weeks. What did Baez end up getting? He signed with the Tigers, right? What did he end up getting? He couldn't have been cheap. Yeah, baseball's always been weird that way in the how much teams spend and revenue sharing and all that stuff. I mean, they tried to fix it in the 20 years ago, and they did to a point. I mean, they did some revenue sharing and whatever, but it's still a sport where the richest team can ultimately win because they can afford to buy players that other players can't, that other teams can't, The Oakland A's are not going after Scherzer. They just don't have the money to do it. Yeah. What's funny, I was reading an article when they signed Harper to that contract here in Philly a couple years ago. And he makes, $25 million a year or whatever it is, somewhere right in that vicinity. On average, over the course of the contract, about $25 million a year or whatever. And the guy writing the article was basically saying, like, his jersey sales cover that. You sit there and go, wow, $25 million a year, it's a lot of money. His merchandise sales alone cover his salary, for the team. So, it's hard to feel bad for anybody in this scenario, And Tyler Callahan, Dayton Tortugas. Third round draft. Wait, Tortugas is 76 of 99. I can't remember who the Tortugas are. Are they Cleveland, I think? Maybe? Baez gets $140 million for 6 years. My God in heaven. $5 years ago, the lowest payroll was $70 million. Nowadays, these teams don't have any incentive to pay top guys. You can suck, get good players for 8 years. Yeah. But even if you go back and watch Moneyball, and granted that was 20 years ago, when that happened, but I mean you still see these massive, salary differences for teams. The Yankees have their own freaking network. Their network alone makes billions of dollars. I'm pretty sure again, from a thing I heard about it, like the network that they show their own games on more than pay for that team like 5 times over alone. Forget ticket sales, merchandise sales, concessions, all that other stuff that goes into it. Oh yeah, man, it's crazy. We were when I was at work the other day and they announced the Scherzer deal. The kid who's washing dishes for me, this teenage kid who's been working for me, he's really nice. He was like, wait a second, man. He's like, I need to do some math real quick. And he's like, how much is he getting? I said, about 43 million a year. He's like, he gets paid $120,000 a day every day of the year. I'm like, yeah. He's like, it's insane. And it is. I mean, if you think about it, like the guys who played professional baseball even back in the 70s have to sit there sometimes and be like, what the hell? Like even the guys in the 70s weren't making anything, as compared to now. Man, in the 80s, shit went crazy. C.J. Abrams. And the thing is, signing these guys, like, did they get the Franco contract done there? I know they were talking about it last week, but I don't really see him. Did he sign a long-term deal last week? I know they were talking about it. For the Mets, Freddie Valdez. For the Metropolitans, he's Rich. Of course it's Rich. That's his team, man. The Mets. I saw they were talking about last week, but I didn't see if they had finalized anything. And my wife and I were actually talking about, because we were talking about the Tatis deal. And I mean, really, from San Diego's perspective, the Tatis deal, they got a steal on that whole thing, because he signs long term. He ends up, his contract averaged out to like 23 million a year over the life of it. Now, again, you're talking about the fact that, too, if Tatis goes out and gets run over by a car tomorrow, he's still getting paid that money, or a very, very large portion of it, because they have guaranteed contracts in Major League Baseball. Riley Green. Whereas in, like, football, they don't, I mean, that's why in football they always want so much in signing bonus, because that's the only money that's guaranteed. They go out and get hit by a car tomorrow, the contract's null and void, basically. That's insane. Or overplay bad players, yeah. But see, the problem is, can they afford the 75 million? Like, can a team like Oakland pay $75 million? Can they afford it? Can Pittsburgh? Because they certainly don't have, and again, I know there's revenue sharing and this and that, but I mean, they certainly don't have the TV contracts that like major, that the major markets have, like they just went through that in Philadelphia a few years back, where there was a lot of question as to, do the Phillies sign another TV contract with Comcast or whatever they're calling themselves these days, NBC Sports, but at the time it was Comcast, or do they start their own network, which was certainly a very legitimate thing they could have done, is started their own network, to put all their games on, charge people to on the cable system, whatever, and make a fortune? Or do you sign another, whatever it is, $4 billion contract with Comcast for the next 10, 15 years or whatever? The unfortunate of it is, I mean, what they get paid in New York or Philly or Houston or LA or Chicago is way more than anyone gets paid in Milwaukee or Pittsburgh, or I mean, Milwaukee's probably a pretty decent sized market, but I mean, some of those other markets, Arizona, I can't imagine that their television contracts produce that kind of money. For the Royals, Ben Hernandez. That Franco deal is kind of cheap. I think it goes to 8 million, so in a few years. Yeah. Like I said, I didn't. Okay, 12 years, 225. Again, like, I mean, that's kind of the beauty of it. Like, it sounds crazy to us, like thinking of the Tatis deal again, like, again, if he plays the way he's supposed to, and does for many years, yeah, he could be getting 40 million plus contracts. But here, we never did the box stopper from that second box. But again, you take into consideration, like, if there's an injury or this or that, or hey, maybe in a couple years he sucks. Who knows? He loses it. I mean, believe me, we know all about that. We had to pay we had to pay Ryan Howard for many crappy years a lot of money in this town. That was the only thing that ever really truly hurt the Phillies, was when they won the World Series. It was awesome that they won, but they won in a year they weren't supposed to. They won a few years before they were supposed to, even though they never won another one. They should have, but then they ended up having to pay all those guys sooner than they thought they would, and then, geez, Wayne probably remembers, or something that Rich might remember too. We ended up having to pay like $200 million to Howard while he sucked, after he hurt his Achilles. The one in the 90s was bad. It went on for a while, as far as I remember. And I know a lot of people were really upset after it. And most people, like I said, most people considered the McGuire-Sosa home run thing is what kind of brought baseball back, Again, I remember it, but it was a long time ago, too. I don't know. I tend to think, first of all, the money is way more now than it was in the 90s. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was still a lot of money back then, but now it's so much more. You got to think that these guys are smart enough to go, no, we ain't losing that kind of money. Like, okay, here it's December, we're in a walkout, or a lockout, or whatever it is, Like, let's make a point and get back to it, by February 1st and get what we want out of it. Who knows? Who knows? Taking a short stint in the Braves, my ass. Oh, yeah. It is this weekend, isn't it? Oh, man. I forgot all that. I get such a crazy week. Oh, man. I forgot all about that. That's this weekend. Damn. I don't know if I'm going to be able to go, Rich, to be honest with you. I gave up. Somebody offered me tickets for the Nova game this weekend. I gave them up. George Kirby, 48 of 99, which is on Saturday. Because of this hellish week I have coming up for my other business too. And now that you said it, it's funny. I'm just looking up at the calendar on the wall, and it's on there for the card show. I don't think I'm going to be able to go. I don't know. Maybe I'll stop out for a couple hours on Saturday. Damn. It's such a crazy time of year for me, especially with my other business. Even though the business is, isn't near what it used to be, but man, holidays are still. We do this holiday catering for these buildings for Kansas City, Nick Lofton. So we had this contract with this company. So for anybody who doesn't know me, I own a chain of cafes, and I have 9 of them, me and my partner. But since the pandemic, we've only had 1 of them open. The other 8 literally just sit there closed. Kansas City is David. And in past years, until the pandemic, of course, we always did these holiday caterings that were huge. So the company that owns a whole bunch of buildings in the Philadelphia area that were in a lot of their buildings, they do breakfast for all their tenants in the building. And usually it's like 3 weeks long in December, starts right after Thanksgiving, runs right up to Christmas. And it's about $250,000 worth of work for us. I mean, it ends up being like 30 or 40,000 people we feed over that time. Well, obviously, the past few years with the pandemic, we haven't done anything. And now we are doing it again this year, but on a much smaller scale. And obviously, it's not as many people because not as many people are coming to work. It's only about maybe 3,000 or 4,000 people in total. The issue is I have no employees, like at all. There's literally like 3 of us, 4 of us running the whole business. So I gotta basically get this done over the next few weeks myself, which is, it's like I said, a lot smaller than it was in the past, but it's still a lot of work for just a couple people to get done. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna try to get there, but I have a feeling I ain't gonna make it. See you at the next one. Mauricio. Care about the stats. Really, all that matters is the dollars. Half his sports guys canceled. Excited for Steve Carlton. Oh yeah, he canceled too. Why are so many canceling? Because of the new strain. Is everybody worried about the new strain? Believe me, I want to go, but now that you're saying it, and I just turned down the Villanova tickets too. Which, believe me, I didn't want to do that either. And Villanova's literally like in my backyard. I could have gone. I mean, especially where my kitchen is. Like, it's literally like half a mile from my kitchen, but I just have so much work to do that I know if I went to the game and then I was behind, like come Monday, I would be really upset with myself. So, I'll be honest with you, I go to that show at this point just to go and see people, like guys from the breaks and stuff. It's always the same people who are there selling the same crap for the most part. Like, I mean, here and there you see some new people. And I did meet, the last show I met a few new people. I met those MASH people and a couple of the newer grading companies. I talked to them and whatever. But, a lot of times it's just the same shit over and over again. Alexander Vargas for the Yanks. Number 24 of 75. For Michael. I know it's a tough ticket, and that's why I didn't want to turn it down. I think we're still getting them, but my son's going to take them. Him and his buddies are going to go. Yeah, they're like the number 5 team in the nation. Nova's never easy to get to basketball, especially when they're playing at the Pavilion, which the game's at the Pavilion. They're playing St. Joe's, but which back in the day, I mean, it's still a Big 5 game, which is, always fun. But I don't know. I got to get this done. If it gets screwed up, it's a lot of money. That's the thing. Like, I just sent them the bill for the whole thing, and it's like 32 grand for the whole thing. They're paying up front. So if I screw it up, I'm not gonna be very happy with myself. So trying to be the responsible business owner, you know how it is. But I asked my son, because my wife actually got him from a client, and she was like, "Do you want to go?" And I was like, "I just can't. I'm too busy." But I said, I asked Liam, and my son's like, "Well, I can wrangle up 4 people to go." Yeah, I'll go. So somebody will use them at least. Blaze. What's that show, Mike, that you're doing on the 19th? That's a wrestling one? And Bay. Greensboro is the Pirates, right? Yeah. For the Pirates, Jai Howen Bay. Pirates is Jeremy. I'm surprised they have it that close to Christmas. Like usually a lot of the shows and stuff, they try to, get them in at the beginning of the month just so it kind of... But, I mean, it's good, too. You get a lot of people at a show like that, Mike. See, Rich, now you got me thinking about the show this weekend. Damn. Yeah, what are you going to do? There'll be another one in the spring. That's the thing. You always know there's going to be another one. They do them all the time. Every 3 months there's another one. All right, box topper from that last one. McAble, Riley Green, and Soderstrom. All right, box number 4. Oh, yeah, Nova football is great. I haven't been to one in a while, but we used to take my son. I live like, when I say my business is like half a mile, I only live like 2 miles from Villanova. So, I mean, it's literally like, I can be at the pavilion in, 10 minutes from my house with traffic, for a basketball game. But, yeah, when my son was younger, we used to take him to the football games. He and I go to the baseball games a lot. We still do, but that's out. They play out in Plymouth Meeting. The baseball stadium's out in Plymouth Meeting. So we've been out there quite a few times. But when my son was little, we used to go to the football games. They were great fun. But you're right, they are like one step above high school. But they've turned out a lot of players out of Villanova. So a lot of big players have come out of Villanova. All right, box 4. Good luck. But it's a ton of fun. There's always tickets to be had for a Villanova football game. Basketball is a whole nother story. Villanova's got so much money. They just extended that campus. Like, for those of you who aren't familiar with this area, I mean, Villanova, obviously pretty much everyone knows them because of their basketball program. They won 2 national championships in the last 5 years or whatever it was, or 6 years. And Villanova is a very, very good college, a very good school. Like, one of the schools that's not Ivy League, but is like one of the top schools in the country. But they've always been small. I mean, it's compared to the big universities. I'd say maybe they haven't had an enrollment of maybe like 11,000, something like that. But after they won those national championships, they built that thing up. They built all these new dorms and new buildings. There has to be. I bet they doubled their size as far as attendance goes at Villanova now. I bet they can have over 20,000 students there now. Oh, okay, I see. So they have a thing the day before. That's cool. Well, that gives it some, gives it some muscle. Urbina, 75 of 75. Mighty Muscles. I have no idea who the Mighty Muscles are. That one I do not know. I have to look it up. By the purple, I'm saying the Rockies, but that's just a guess. Urbina, I know his name. Anyway, we'll look him up, get him to the right place. Yeah, we went to a couple Temple games. We went. When was the last time? The last time we went to a Temple game was we went down to see. Oh God, here we go. Me and my memory, my nothing memory. We saw him play Memphis when what's his name was the quarterback, the one who got drafted by the Broncos. Oh Christ, what's his name? I can't. I'm so bad at that stuff. For the Indians, Tolentino. Gosh, come on. What was his name? Just a couple of years ago, he was like one of the top quarterback draft picks. He went to the Broncos. I don't think he did anything. I'm sure he's a backup somewhere if he's even still in the league. But he played for Memphis, so we went down. And I mean, it's so funny to go to like a game like that because. They play at Lincoln Financial Field where the Eagles play. You can get like right down like on the 50-yard line for like $12 or whatever it is. Whereas if you want to go to an Eagles game and sit in that seat, it's like $1,000. So it feels so weird when you go, but it's fun. I've been to most college in some aspect around here. Football, basketball. I've been to a lot of the colleges basketball. Like I've seen Drexel play and Penn and. I got you. Who is that? Come on, somebody throw me a name here. What the hell was that kid's name? He's a quarterback at Memphis. He got drafted by the Broncos. Tyler Soderstrom. Oh. He didn't play well when we saw him. I know that because I remember my son and I left there going, "That dude's going to be a top draft pick, really?" Because he got annihilated in that game. He did not play well at all, but it was fun, you know. Yeah, well, yeah. If you sit up top or sit in the back, yeah, you can get the seats for like nothing. Oh, here, let's do the box topper from this last box. Paxton Lynch, thank you, David. Thank you. I would never have remembered that. Thank you. Paxton Lynch. Where is he now? Is he doing anything? Is he still in the league? Abel, Riley Green, and Soderstrom. Paxton Lynch. Wow, I would have never remembered that. Thank you, my friend. That's the reason we specifically went to that game to see him play, too, and he got lit up in that game. He did not play well at all. And I mean, this was a few years back. My son was younger, and I remember leaving the game. My son's like, "He's supposed to be like a top draft pick." I was like, "Yeah, I guess." He's like, the line must have had problems that day. Yeah, Paxton Lynch. Is he still around at all? I know he didn't look great that day when I saw him. Well, that was when, what's his name, was playing for Temple too, the defensive back, the one who went to Pittsburgh. Practice squad. Yeah. I know he was, oh, he's out of the league. I know he was drafted by the Broncos. I remember the guy, I can always remember the guys. I just can't remember any of their names. The guy from Temple who was so good, the linebacker who was so good but was small, and Pittsburgh ended up drafting him. And again, I can't remember his name. I remember he lit that Paxton Lynch kid up in that game. He was all over him. Hendrick. Yeah. Oh, he plays in Canada? No, it's all right. Saskatchewan Roughriders, good for him, man. Probably makes good scratch, too. Probably makes good scratch. Yeah, Tyler. Yeah, is he still play? I mean, I know that he wasn't like all kind. He was like the best defensive player that year in football, but everybody always said he was too small to make it in the NFL. Again, I haven't heard his name in a long time, so I'm assuming he doesn't, or he's sitting on a practice squad somewhere, maybe. But it's amazing, you know, how guys can like be so great in college and just not quite good enough for the NFL, you know. CJ Van Eck, you see it all the time. He's with Buffalo, is he? Oh, that's awesome, man. He was good. He was really good in college. I'm one of those guys. I can tell you the story about anyone. I just can't remember their names, who they are. For Rich. It's like breaks. I can remember the whole break, but I can't remember when or, you know, specifically what it was. Yeah, there were a few guys who came off that Temple team. Yeah, well, that was the year. That wasn't the same year, but the year before, I think, was when Temple was ranked, when they beat Notre Dame. And that was when, what's his name? The coach from Tampa Bay. Isn't he with Tampa now? Wasn't he he was the coach at Temple then? Is that where he is now? Tampa or Arizona? Tampa, right? He went to Arizona and then went to Tampa or whatever. Yeah, he's again, I can't remember his name, but Pena, Hendrick, and Siani. All right, guys, those are our last 4 boxes of Heritage Minor League that, you know, went out for a song, so hopefully everyone picked up a little something. I want to thank everyone, as always, for joining me. Give me a second, just put a quick hit recap together here, and we'll get out of here. We'll be back on Saturday night. Like I said, we have Clearly Authentic. We have Signature Series Retired player, which if you check out that checklist, man, there's a lot of nice people on that checklist. We got Museum. We're going to do a quarter case of Museum on Saturday night, and then we're going to do some more Topps Chrome. We've been crushing Topps Chrome lately, so we're going to do one more of those. Matt Rule, that was his name, Matt Rule. No, he's the coach in Carolina. That's right. I was thinking of Matt Rule. That was his name. Jeez. See, I would be great if I could have like a couple people follow me around and tell me names. I can remember the story. I remember the player. I can remember the day. I just can't remember anybody's name. But see, I'm horrible that way in person too. Like I can meet you and you come up to me and you go like, "Hey, I'm Rich." And I go, "Hey, I'm Chris. How are you?" And then we'll talk for a few minutes. And then all I'm doing is going, "What the hell did this guy say his name was again?" Like, I'm so bad with names. I don't know why. All right, hit recap for 2021 Topps Heritage Minor League. Third case break number 4. Some Blues, Tyler Callahan. These are /99. Asa Lacy in action and George Kirby. Alexander Vargas /75 and Urbina /75 and Justin Foscue /50. And autographs of, come on, Freddie, focus. Freddie Valdez, Ben Hernandez, Nick Lofton, Bay, CJ Vanek, Tolentino, nice price ball for the Braves, and Hunil Choi for the Dodgers. Matt Rule. I would not have, there's no way I'd have remembered his name. I was thinking of someone else, but there's no way I would remember Matt Rule. All right, guys, again, thank you so much for joining me. I do appreciate it. I hope you can all join me on Saturday night. Please stay safe, stay healthy out there. Hit that like and subscribe, and I will talk to you again soon. Take care. Bye.